You've made it to Chiro Hustle Live. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession. This week's episode is brought to you by Clothes for Chiro, Legacy Wealth Management, Posture Screen, Chiro Thin, Imaging Services, Zingit Solutions, Peter Goldman's Zone School of Healing, Everest Coaching Systems, Universal Tractioning Systems, Rhino Coaching, Chiropractic Jobs Online, and Chiro Matchmakers. Let's hustle. Hey everybody, Jim Chester here. This is a Chiro Hustle live stream edition. This is an afternoon edition, and I have Dave Major, legendary chiropractic marketer, over on the other side of the screen with me. He is in Ohio, and I am in Colorado. We're coming live to you guys today, and I think that this might be one of the most important messages that we're going to deliver today that people will ever get a chance to listen to, talking about marketing. I think that people are very confused in the marketplace when it comes to understanding marketing, when it comes to the trends in marketing, where the profession has been touched by marketing. But before we get into this amazing conversation on recent trip that you just had to China, but we're also going to talk about trends in marketing soon. But before we do that, I'm going to introduce our sponsor today, and that's Dr. Jason Yeager, and that's the Universal Traction System, and that is at utsspine.net. In the description of this Facebook Live has his link in there. It says click now. I would like you guys to at least click now, go over there and check out his page and see what he has to offer to you. So, Dave Major, welcome.
Thank you. Welcome. Good to be here.
So I know we're going to get down and dirty. We're going to talk some really cool stuff. But before we get into this, let's talk about this 13-hour flight you just had.
No, that's 13-hour time change. When I'd be waking up, my wife's going to bed. And when I'm going to bed, my wife's waking up. That's, you think California 4-hour time change is bad. Try 13 hours. But it was actually a 19 and a half hour flight. So I went around the world, Cleveland to San Fran to Hong Kong, Hong Kong to New York, New York back to Cleveland. So went around the world. Did that in May and just did that again in November. So
you're going to China. What are you bringing with you in your toolbox that you travel over there with?
Well, the cool thing is there's a couple of things. Number one, one person, this is a great story. One person has just opened up. They heard me speak, and they're going ahead doing a, excuse me, is that on the screen there? Session and end it.
No, it's still going.
Okay, sorry. I don't know why that said that, but I know what it was. Now it's gone. Son of a gun.
You're still here with me.
I'm still there with you?
Yeah,
okay. Yeah. I can't see it. Oh, okay. Hold on a minute. But anyway, okay, there we are. Hey, how about that? No, I had some problem with my camera, and the guy he said, I'll hold. I said, well, by the time Dr. Jim Chester, Dr. Major, get done talking, he was on hold. Something's wrong with the camera as far as using it, but it's okay now. Anyways, Two clinics. One, a great guy, Dr. Ben, just opened up. He was an associate and left and heard me speak and said, I need you to help build my practice. So I went there, and he was seeing about 65 a week for first 2 to 3 months. By the time I left on the end of the week, because I worked a whole week, we saw 115. And it was just about getting the energy up, educating the people. And then the other person, when I just went, because I went back to Dr. Ben, I'm going to go back every quarter for next year. So 4 times next year for 2 weeks at a time. The other gentleman just want personal development. My philosophy is empower the person, impact the profession. All I do is personal growth. And he sees about 250 a week and about 50 on a Saturday. Well, we had a kind of a total solution thing where people, get stuff out. The team let go of stuff. They all hug. And the energy and the look on their face, he has never went up out of the 50s in about 5 years. They saw 82 on Saturday just because of the energy. We talked about that's a subluxation. So one was personal growth. One was more going out to corporations, doing talks, lectures, and screenings, and also internally. My philosophy is marketing starts from the inside out. If you can't be getting patients from your current patient base, then don't you dare go outside, because you're going to come in and go right out the back door.
Yeah, and I think that what you said there is super important. And I just noticed even from the first day I met you, we were talking about this off camera, and you were doing a marketing event up in Broomfield, and I had a chance to see what you were doing and how you were impacting the community and how you were impacting the people that were working around you. And I was just watching the flow that you created with how you communicated with people and how you were able to work with someone else's staff that you'd never worked with before. And you go drop in and you build a game plan for them with just a game face. You build a game plan, you build a game plan with them, and you figure out how to make the impact that you need to elevate the energy of that event to be able to attract the people that are now going to have this life-changing opportunity to go in and see the chiropractor. So
yes. Oh, go on. Sorry.
No, I just want to say I sat there and watched you for like 5 minutes that first time, and then went up and kindly introduced myself to you. But even that day, I was you were one of those people I was told I needed to track down and meet. And then I had the opportunity. Then I had the opportunity of doing that, and I just felt like that was such a learning experience. So anybody that does get a chance to work with you, whether that be far and abroad in China or stateside here, I know one of the stats you shared with me over the past 35 years, you've accumulated almost 2.5 million airline miles.
Yes, yeah. I mean, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but yeah, that's a lot.
So let's talk. One topic I think that our audience is really going to be interested in is a conversation that I want to have with you is about old school marketing and new school marketing and some of the trends that you've seen change over the past 30 years. But let's first start out talking about what you specialize in, and that's old school marketing, that's screening events, and why that's still essential after 30 years.
Well, no, thank you very much. Yeah. Old school marketing was pretty simple back in the day. They called the Mercedes 80s. All you had to do was go out there, and you had either sand machine, bilateral scales, plumb line, you had a spine. You would just talk to people. And back then, the biggest thing was that people basically, there was a more negativity, if you will, about chiropractic, and it's totally shifted over time. But going out and meeting people and telling them what it's really about. Probably the most powerful thing was talking about how I laughed at my buddy. I thought he was a quack. And then when my disc blew and my head was like this, and I couldn't hardly turn. And I went out on the outside, out on the inside. Oh, I love to do a screening. And I got 35 new patients the first time I did a screening because I was excited about the message. So back then, you didn't really have to do much, and they come in for a free exam and free this, and it was kind of loose as far as boundaries go, but it was still getting out in the public and sharing with people, and not too many people did it back then. When I first started, more and more, everyone's doing screening still. Why? Because now it's really not new school. It's just like a philosophy. A philosophy is a philosophy is a philosophy. What goes around comes around. If it doesn't move, it dies. Motion's life. Stillness is death. So telling the story, telling people what chiropractic is all about, and educating them is still a powerful thing. And now here's our problem now, Jim. More people say, I have one. I have one. I have one. So Pat said one time I was like honored as for the anniversary of On Purpose, the chiropractor of the month. They gave me an HDC, honorary doctor of chiropractic, Dave Major. And so, yeah, right on, baby. So, everything's going cool. Well, I'm a big crier. And the last question he says, how many people do you think are under chiropractic care 30 years later because of you? And I tell you, Jim, I still want to feel overwhelmed. Like the song says, I still want to feel small when I stand beside the ocean. I was like, it's too big to even think about it, but I still want to feel humbled and proud and blessed that I have the opportunity to go out for 35 years telling the story, whether it was with some barbaric, simple things way back when, or more sophisticated, the insight, which is kind of nice because it's changed with the time. So it's more technology based. And but the still same old thing. You connect with the person got to buy the messenger before the message. And you see somebody said one time, well, Mr. Major, I thought you're bada bing, bada boom. You're loving on people, you're hugging them, you're like crying sometimes. And I said, well, I got to connect and said, here's your problem. We might have the solution. You need to check it out. My favorite line is, check it out. You have nothing to lose but your problem. And they just go, you're right. Well, let's do it. Let's check it out. See if we can help you. See if we can't. So it's the new school is more technology. You got to be a little more bling, have a little more nice, nice signs. You can't be just putting up with a magic marker, some signs. It's got to be professional. But it have to be spectacular, but it just has to still be with the sign of the times, a little more upbeat and kind of flat, or how they say pop. It's got to pop.
Well, so some of the things you're sharing with me are things I have experience in as well. And I think it's really cool that we can both give our, walk of life experiences to doing chiropractic screening events. And I know between the two of us, I couldn't even begin to imagine the amount of lives that we have touched by going out with enthusiasm. I think one of the undercurrent there strategies is becoming enthusiastic about it. And one of the things I tell people when I train them is this: it's all about headspace. You don't have to be there. You get to be there. And if you understand the fact that you get to be there of service, and that it's a very special opportunity for you to go out there and to serve your community and to help people, you look at it from a whole different perspective than it's a curmudgeon activity that I have to do. I have to go give up my weekend to go do this, or I have to make time to go out there and lug all this stuff out there and set it up. It's beyond that. That's like the growth opportunity. But the servant part of that and going out to the community and meeting people, one of those big aspects where you were talking about it is the rapport building. And I know if we get granular on that, why is it so important to build rapport with your audience and know who they are when you're selling them chiropractic?
You're not selling, you're educating them on chiropractic. Okay. I know what you mean, but sorry. I just, when people sometimes say, oh, you're an amazing salesman. I had no inkling at all to sign up. I just doing this, and here I am signing up. I said, I take offense to that. I'm not selling. I'm educating you. I'm sharing my passion. I was just like you, and now look at me. I mean, for 35 years, I've been educating the world, and I thought they were the biggest quacks in the world, So, but, to get back to what you just said, it's, I appreciate what you just said, because you're like-minded like me. It is about the intent. And when you go there, you need to just build rapport, because what rapport builds trust. I mean, so when you build that rapport, they trust you. They trust you. And through the whole process, the more they trust you, the more they're going to be willing to, sign up. Because there's a thing I teach, and we're not going to do it now. Maybe it's another one. Event plus response it's called E plus R equals O. Event plus response equals outcome. Why do I have such a good outcome? Because to every event I do, my response is not just what I say, but getting prepared, get my game face on, run down the treadmill. I remember Dave Jackson coming down, and I was crying. He's like, what's wrong? You okay? Did you hurt yourself? I said, I'm going to just touch all these lives today. And I'm visualizing all these people who need us. And I'm just so excited and honored and proud to be a part of this team. And it blew me away. So when I go there, I'm expecting it'll be projected. And I'm wanting to see people. I'm wanting to focus on their lives. And, everybody has what's in it for me, WIFM. They're all tuned into that. I want to tune into that. What is your problem? I might be the solution, and let's talk about it. But again, until that first handshake, whether it's, a light one or firm one, I know that they need to be feeling much better and more confident in what they're going to do from the time I meet them and connect with them to the time I go to the close to tell them what's going on.
Question for you on
Sure.
top of that. How do you still stay so enthusiastic about serving chiropractic?
I love what I do. I do what I love. It's my purpose in life. The first question I ask a chiropractor, I've been training a lot of associates. So if you have an associate out there, I'll take the associate out And when they're like, kind of like, I'm like, why'd you become a chiropractor? First thing, if they start saying, well, I saw my chiropractor make a lot of money. Well, I'm sorry, sir, you just wasted a lot of college education. It's not about making money. If you didn't see the value and the opportunity to change someone's life, to have them sleep better, to have them, enjoy their family better and life better and quality of life. I mean, then I'm telling you what, you got the wrong intent. So what keeps me going, and still just like, I just love what I do, is because it changed my life and it's my purpose in life. And if you're doing your purpose like you are, Jim, then every day is a joy and a blessing to get up and to share and to be part of the greatest profession on earth, chiropractic. And so you better check yourself. Here's my thing. If you out there, I want you to ask your staff tomorrow, stop and think and be real serious. If this really was going to happen in your life, close your eyes and go, what if you would never, ever, and this would be a reality, ever get another adjustment the rest of your life? And just think about that. If they don't respond, I'm sick to my stomach, I'm so mad, I could not ever live like that, then they don't have the big idea. If they say, well, I'll just get a massage, or I'll just do this, well, they don't get it. Get the big idea, all else fails. Get the major, and all else follows. So yeah, it's because we love what we do, Jim. I mean, look what you do, look what I do. I mean, if anybody had Jim and I out together for a big fair for 5 days, I mean, look out. Not only will we get new patients galore and educate you and turn your whole community around, your staff would just learn so much from us.
Yeah, I think that's a good close right there, is saying, hey, if you guys wanted Dave and Jim to come out to an event that's at least 5 days long, that we could co-run that event for you, inbox either one of us, and we'll make sure that we see if we have both availabilities, because I know you're a full-time traveler, I'm a full-time traveler, so getting our schedules to line up to be able to do something would be a special opportunity.
Yeah,
but it'd be a special opportunity for anybody out there that would say, you know what, this is a good way to educate my community. And I think that that's one of the most important things about investing into marketing and knowing that there is an outcome. I think one of those things is knowing that getting the best in the business out there to do something for you benefits not only that practice, but it benefits the people working around that doctor, and it gets that big idea even better in that community. So I think that when you do things the right way, the outcome can almost be expected. But having a group of people out there that are actually training and getting it down, that's what matters.
Right. And the definition of marketing is making people aware of your goods. It's educating people. It is not selling. But let me ask you, Jim, and I've had the 30 years to the 35, 35 years ago. It's been a longer span. So what have you seen in the 10 years? And congratulations, 10 years this year for being in chiropractic. What have you seen in the short 10 years?
I see that more people have to realize that they have this idea in chiropractic, which is give, love, and serve. And I think that there's no greater way to do that than to go out and be a civil servant and to take your practice onto the street level, meet people toe to toe where they are, and have conversations with them and letting them know that we can help them. I think that there's something really unique about that opportunity of how it gives you the ability to be your best. And I think that most people are misconstrued with what chiropractic marketing means when they go do screening events. They go out there and they get caught up in the details. Right. They don't focus on the outcome. And if they built themselves out a proper marketing strategy and calendar for going out there and getting events and doing them and having the self-esteem and confidence to go out there and meet their community where they are, I think that there wouldn't be any shortage of people under care. And I think that we wouldn't have any problem with chiropractors staying in practice. But I think that there's a disconnect between what people want for their ego and what they'll do to make it. And I think that the more I've learned is that we have to start delivering what we would want as a consumer. If we were to go meet that chiropractic marketing screening booth, what would we want to get out of that. So what am I willing to exchange with you, Dave Major, in order to make it to a chiropractic visit? So that's what we have to get better at. We have to get better at not making the deal for us, but making the deal for them. If we want to get their attention and them to take action, we have to make it specifically for the outcome of that person. So we have to speak to that one avatar every time and deliver the process the same way and let people know that there is a strategy for them to follow if they want to elevate their strategies on how to grow a practice or how to build even public speaking skills. You learn how, if you thought about it, Dave, the amount of no's that we get to every one yes, that is such a huge part of the learning curve. You have to be told no at least 100 times before you'll get your first yes. And as you get better, those metrics get improved, but you have to go through those dark ages of the no phase.
Right. No, exactly. And you know what? You said a lot of great things there. I know when I went to Parker years ago and they were doing the Texas State Fair, they were getting 25 to 30 new patients in 10 days. I trained them for 2 days after school and went out there for like about 3 days with a group of all the students to train them. They are now getting 180 to 225 in 10 days now. And it's funny, people who have the means and they're doing very well, they hire me, and people who are not doing well don't hire me. And it's like, do you see that success? Do what successful people do. They know it's an investment. And I think you're right. I think the younger generation, and I sound like old fart being 65, but they want to do the social media because they are, less apt to be more conversed. They've done a lot of, just Googling and all stuff on technology instead of communication. And also, and they've been taught sometimes the wrong way, like go out there and get them. It's like, hey, go out there. I mean, and just love on these people, and you attract them. What we think about is what we bring about. So I think they've been trained wrong. They have the wrong stigma. If somebody said, "Oh, I worked for a guy and he beat me like a stepchild out there get these new patients and stuff," and it's not about that. It's about going out and educating people, and you'll see them come. And so if you're out there doing a lot of social media because you don't want to, face someone face to face and take rejection, listen, they're not rejecting you, they're rejecting the message. You're not responsible for people's decision. You're responsible to tell that message with certainty, conviction, and compassion, and let them make the choice. But the better you do that, the better choice they'll make.
You've made it to Chiro Hustle Live. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession. This week's episode is brought to you by Close for Chiro, Legacy Wealth Management, Posture Screen, Chiro Thin, Imaging Services, Zinget Solutions, Peter Goldman's Zone School of Healing, Everest Coaching Systems, Universal Tractioning Systems, Rhino Coaching, Chiropractic Jobs Online, and Chiro Matchmakers. Let's hustle. And that's just it, is it's meeting people where they are. One of the things I like to be able to, when I have the conversation to schedule somebody, is I ask them if they injured themselves, if they're doing anything for it, and if they've ever considered chiropractic. And I let them tell me, and then I STFU. I just be quiet, and I wait for them to give me the opportunity to take them to the next stage. And I think that that's what also I've learned, is that you have to have a systematic approach to the conversation with people. Mm-hmm. And it's never the same conversation, but it's always the same strategy that you use. And that's a high level communication, but you don't learn that. One of my friends said, "Dude, you do so many interviews. How did you get so good?" I go, "You do 300 of them and you'll get good too."
Yes. Someone say about my screen. He's like, "Oh my gosh, Mr. Major, you're so smooth and you just got all these stories." I'm like, well, in 35 years, you'll be the same way. You just don't go out one week and yes, exactly. Good point, Jim. Good point.
And that's what you bring to the table. If you came out and did an event for somebody, is you would bring that toolkit with you, like you did to China. You'll take that toolkit like you have over those 2.5 million sky miles across the United States and Canada, serving and helping. And you'll take that toolkit to people and you'll start implementing those systems. And one of the things I've learned over the past 10 years also is two of the big words that really matter is systems and efficiency. And if you can figure out efficient systems that are repetitive and repeatable, and then you get to this expected outcome, which we expect miracles. Now you get to an outcome that we can say this is tangible. If I bring Dave Major out, he's going to not only bring his toolkit, but he's going to teach a communication strategy to then, once he leaves, I can take the keys to the kingdom with me now, and I can go out there. Now I can go out there with certainty and know that my languaging and my messaging and my efficient system is going to be the best in the business.
Right. It's a presentation of the information. I mean, if everybody wants my screening form or so, I'm sure you'll give the information. They can contact me. I'd be more than happy. But it's not about the form and stuff. There's a lot more involved in it, But probably maybe January, February we'll do a thing about the actual step by step. But right now, just get decide what you want. How it's not how good you are. My son used to have a T-shirt, sports one, but it's how bad you want it. How bad do you want it? How bad are you willing to go out there and take rejection and stuff? But I'm telling you what, listen, people, I told the kids at Parker, you got it made now. I was in the day when over 80% said, oh, you're a quack, get away. Chiropractic's a joke. Now everybody's like, hey, my friends all go. I'm thinking of it. Hey, my kids, my friends take their kids to you. I mean, so it's so much has shifted. And I feel I've had a little bit of part in that and educating all these millions of people. And so have you and all these other people. So we just got to keep, fighting the fight, I mean, it's not actually a fight. When they see that certainty and they're like, wow, this guy really believes this, and that's where it's got to be. It's got to be that confidence, that certainty in the message we're delivering, not just the script, not just the words. It's the power behind the words that really, matter.
And that's taking you from 98 to 100%. And yes. I think that so many people go out there with 98% and they lack that 2% more. And one of the things I used to ask my staff when I worked at an office is I would ask them to give at the end of the Friday, I'd ask them when we came in on Monday, give me 2% more. Mm-hmm. And you would be amazed that the people that I had working with me, how they would give me 50% more production, or they would hit they would double what they were capable of doing just because they came to thinking that they were going to give 2% more on that following Monday. So they came into it with a better headspace, knowing that they were going to go out there and be able to produce better, even though they're working with the same amount of energy, they're working with the same amount of time frame, they're working with the same people in the same place. But it's all unlocking people to say, I raise my hand and I'll go do a little bit more because I know that I can.
Right. And you encourage them. People are triumphant. They try and they oomph it. They give that little bit extra. That's what makes the ordinary people extraordinary. They give that little extra. And that's all you got to do. I mean, and then people take notice. And I love being out there. I mean, people laugh. I'm like, hey, check yourself before you wreck yourself. Hey, we'll do a checkup for the neck up. Come on over. Hey, my brother from another mother, how you doing? I just want to free lie detector test if you can handle the truth. I'm healthy. Well, look at my poster, my favorite feeling versus function poster. You only feel 10%. Give me a break. I didn't know that. People are negative by nature, people, and what they don't understand, they're against. When you educate them, all of a sudden they go, there's 3 famous words I love. It's the biggest compliment to me. They go, sir, that makes sense. When they say that makes sense, then they got it. They want to come in. If it doesn't make sense, they sit there like with that deer in the headlight look, and you're just talking, not doing Socratically, asking them, involving them, and all the stuff I do. I just love them. They're like, wow, I never knew that. I mean, and it's just, you see that shift, paradigm shift, and it just it's like the starfish story, they're throwing the starfish back in. They go, hey, why are you doing that? There's hundreds of thousands. They'll come back in. It's not worth it. And I hold that one up and go, it's worth that one. I mean, hey, get this. This is amazing. Hope I don't cry, but if I do, I don't care. I can beat you up. No, I'm just teasing. A guy called me, home show a month ago. He goes, the lady who had her head bobbing? I go, yeah. Well, she had like numb toe. She's talking about everything else, and she's the elephant in the room. I'm like, ma'am, I just got to say, how long have you been having the neurological tics, your head shaking? And she kind of bowed her head and said, a while. And I said, they're getting worse. And she goes, yes. I'm like, listen, I'm not telling you for sure, but the nerves that control those muscles, bzzz, but when there's pressure, because a subluxation it disturbs alters the flow of those current. And so it could be, short circuiting, if you will. She went, that makes sense. He called me 4 days ago when I just got home from Hong Kong, said her head stopped shaking, her toe, she could feel it. And get this, she was only sleeping for last 5 years, an hour at a time. She took 5 1-hour naps. She slept 8 hours. She come in bawling like my life has changed. To tell that gentleman who was brave enough to say, I think we might be able to help you, but we don't know unless you check it out. You have nothing to lose but that problem. I'm like, I can see. Head did pretty good. I'm usually bawling like a baby. But anyways, that's why I do what I do. If you want to ask me why I get excited, that's why I get excited, to hear those stories. Not to say, look at me. It's like, thank you, Lord, for me being there, because that's all I was. I don't like people say, good luck at your screen. I go, there's no such thing as luck. It's where preparation and opportunity meet. I am prepared mentally, physically, spiritually, and I have the opportunity to share the message. And the better I deliver it, the better choice I have of having that person get under chiropractic care. Bam! Game face!
And I love it, man. I think that it's great to be passionate. And I think that that's something that this chiropractic space needs. It needs good, charismatic characters, and it needs good, charismatic leadership. And I think it needs people that are out there for the right reasons doing the work and then willing to share that information. I think that's one of the greatest things is when you do build that legacy. Like I was saying, it's not about like what we do today, but it's about what we've done yesterday and how we can build upon that for this next opportunity that we get. And, when you go out there and you do tell this story to somebody, it's not the gritty, heavy lifting work that gets you to that position. It's the ability to have the conversation because you've done the heavy lifting and the gritty work. And setting up for an event sucks. Breaking down an event sucks. But the outcome that you get once you actually get to the process and do the heavy lifting and the gritty work, you get the opportunity to be on your stage. And I tell myself I have a no rejection zone. Like I control a no rejection zone. I communicate to people and tell them I can help them. But I think more of that, Dave, is like you said, it's preparation. It's knowing that you have to drive whatever amount of miles. You have to know that you're not going to know where the hell to park. You have to know that you don't know who the event coordinator is or where they're at. You have to know that you don't know where your booth space is. You have to know that you're going to have confusion that's going to hit your parasympathetics through the roof before you even shake one person's hand and talk to them. So preparation is highly important when you're going out there and serving your community, to where once you actually get to the point of serving, you are in the ability to serve and you're not bogged down with all the details that you had to do in order to prepare.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Hey, I got to give you, I'll send you, I'm just finishing up. I had this, when people go, don't you hate this when they 6 MRIs on 20,000 medications, 20,000 years of PT, and but they're not tried chiropractic. And you think this is a good person. They go, give me a card. I go, oh, what's a card going to do? It's not knowing, but it's doing that's going to change your life. I said, here, and I created one. I got to make some more up. It says procrastination card. And the guy looked at it and goes, they that know and do not do never knew in the first place. Procrastination is the thief of health. Turn it over. And he goes, check it out. You have nothing to lose but your problem. And it's like, well, what is this? I'm like, well, hey, you. And then I go back to the form. You've had this for 10 years. Nothing's working. I'm giving the opportunity, and you just don't get it. And then and they're like, it just kind of stuns them because they feel good about getting a card. It's not going to change anything.
Well,
but anyways,
that's what we call crazy town. And that's why people going forward, Dave, they're going to be beating the doors down of the chiropractic screening booths to get in to see the chiropractor with a special promo offer. And they are going to be so damn excited to come in because they realize that the medical system, the house of cards, is tumbling down, and they are looking for solutions and record numbers now. And they're looking for people to be their megaphone for health services. And I think that chiropractic is so darn positioned to take their rightful stance and to say, once again, I'm going to raise my hand and say that we are prepared to take care of this population that is going to demand a solution for their health.
Yeah, right. You're exactly right. Back in the day, this is what's changed too. You had to say this fact, and people look at you like you're right. Now they're telling me, look at the EpiPen, and all the people opiate. I mean, they're telling me like we're over. I'm going like, yeah, you want to work in our office? I mean, they know all the stats. They're well educated and stuff. And they say they call us, quacks. And it's just like, yeah. I said, MD stands for mad doctor. I say, the difference between God and an MD is God doesn't think he's a doctor. So, and they're like, wow. But hey, I mean, little disclaimer, if I had a broken leg, thank God for crisis care. Medical has some good stuff. But when you're just taking 20 drugs a day and covering up stuff and not, doing what we can do, the right tool for the right job. So, I'm just excited, Jim, for 2019. I'm excited for what you do. I really feel we're going to together, as far as the screening market goes, just really empower more and more people to get out there and teach them that it's fun. You do it the right way. It's a blessing to be out there. When you see people like they thank you so much for being here, that, that just changes your whole thing, even if it's just one person. And as far as my next year goes too, guess who called me the day after I got home from Hong Kong? Nairobi, Kenyan. He graduated from Palmer, and there are 7 chiropractors. And Saturday night I did a Facebook live, well, not a Skype, and they all were in this hut with this, like electrical stuff. I mean, I didn't think they'd have electrical in the hut, and they're all chanting, game face, game face, game face. And they're all excited. We can't wait to see you, Mr. Major, next year. And I mean, and here's the thing about you and me, chiropractors, the people who really value what we do, and which is very important, get great results. Those that don't value what we do don't get great results. So over there, I mean, Hong Kong is blowing up like crazy because they don't have it. You people here have Jim Chester every day. You have all this stuff at your hands and feet, and you don't use it. They are going crazy. They would love to have as much as you have to educate and motivate you. And like these programs, Chiro Hustle, all this, you got to get, this is where you get your juice on every day and not just wait for one big seminar for the year to go somewhere.
And that's just it, Dave. And that's one of the catalysts for us creating Chiro Hustle, which, by the way, we've surpassed 500,000 listens in the first 77 episodes. And you are episode 8. If people wanted to go up and click on your link, they can listen to one of the early episodes. Cool. We're pushing into our 100th episode here shortly.
Wow,
but
nice.
The reason we created this is because we wanted chiropractic, the message, to start living outside the 4 walls of chiropractic. And we wanted to protect the sacred trust with the messaging and keep free speech alive in the chiropractic profession, which is subluxation-based, innate intelligence-based, philosophically sound chiropractic conversation. And I think that what we've been able to accomplish by being a megaphone and a mouthpiece for the profession is now we've made the cultural conversation more adaptable, and the outcomes are getting better because we are saturating the world with information. And I think that's what the chiropractor that you said, every single one of them have access points. And we create this platform, and now people have access to us. And I figured one of the most important things is we need to create information that gives people access to chiropractic. Yes. And that's why we need all chiropractors out there creating access in their communities for their success. We just need to create more access points. And I think that the more information that we produce and the more people that we get into chiropractic, the access grows.
Yes.
Everybody wants access to the information. People just honestly, Dave, one of my famous lines is people just don't know where to go or who to trust.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
now we have trusted sources. And if I
Yes.
learned anything from Napoleon Hill, he said, be known, be liked, and be trusted.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
then I read Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And if you guys want to change the future for yourself right now, go and read How to Win Friends and Influence People, and read Napoleon Hill's book,
Think and Grow Rich.
Think and Grow Rich. And I
Yeah.
think just fundamentally, those two things will position you to have a better 2019.
I agree. I agree. That's what Chris Zano does. He's read it. I don't think it read Think and Grow Rich like 20 sometimes, and is he rich? Yes. Yeah. So yeah, no, you're exactly right. You know, we say success is a consciousness. I did a bunch of epochs last year, and I'm like, you know, what do you do to feed your mind? And there, because everybody goes, yeah, it's a mindset. It's all between your success and consciousness. What do you do to fill that consciousness? And no, and like one person out of the whole room, right? Well, I do this and this and this. So we got to be constantly feeding, because this world's a negative world, and you got to just keep on, keep it on, keep it on, keep it on, you know? So again, I'm very blessed for you to have me on. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. My grandson said, you're 5 years away from 70. I'm like, hey, I don't care. I can't wait till you say I'm 5 years away from 90, and I'm still out telling the message, and it's just a reflection of what chiropractic care can do, and living the life and having a purpose in life. Because people, when they die and they have no purpose, retire and there's no purpose, they say within 2 years they die, because there's no hope. So I want to keep on, making stuff, writing stuff. My Feeling versus Function now is going to be in Chinese, French, Swedish. I want to just globally, impact the world. And I'll try to get you over there to Hong Kong or Africa, and we'll start. Yeah, that's right. We'll be global travelers, okay, globetrotters. But yeah, I do appreciate everything. If anybody wants to talk to me, I'm always happy to jump on for just 10 minutes if they have an issue. I got tissues. No, not kidding. But anyway, and my book, Health is a Journey, sold over 2 million copies. It's my nice, easy book that's so educational that, if you're doing a healthcare talk. So all this is about education. It's not really to make money. I don't really promote it. But when people use my materials, people get it. You need to get it. The more you get it, don't stop. They got it. Continue, continue, continue.
And the thing is that I've noticed that what you brought to the marketplace is you brought something of value to the consumer, which is the chiropractor, and that is your ability to go out there and to help them grow their business.
Yes.
And I think that growing your business and marketing yourself the proper way, it's never about the sales, but it's about the outcome. And anybody that does invest in their self will obviously invest in somebody that can help them. And coaching is one of those things. And one of the things I think that you bring to the marketplace that no one else can is that ability to coach, and not coach and say I'm the guru, but I will show you coaching tactical things that will continuously bring you in outcomes that you're looking for personal growth and business growth. And I think that that's one of the greatest gifts that you do provide, is you go out there and you teach people how to have business success. And that's a difference between a screening and outcome. Screenings might suck, but positive outcomes don't.
Right. Amen. There you go. I'll give them one. I'll give you guys one tip. It's one of the most powerful tips. It's simple. I don't know if you know this or not, but on the inside, the spike charts, asymmetry, I developed that. Everybody's like, really? I'm like, yeah. I'm just not a pretty face. I got a brain. No, I'm just teasing. But anyways, when it's pulling one way or the other way at a screening, and whether you have it or not, and if they turn their head from side to side, you take their finger, and I'll even say this at a screening. I'll say, I'm not going to pull your finger, and they laugh. But I say, turn the finger, and I turn it nice and easy. I said, so basically, if the joints in your spine move nice and easy, is that a good thing? And they go, yeah. Well, I twist it just slightly and turn it. A subluxation creates a drag. And I said, is that? And they go, ooh. I said, that's what causes disc degeneration, arthritis, and damage. I said, is that a good thing? And they're like, no. I said, the law of physics, something doesn't move, it dies. Motion. And then I said, adjustment, freeze that joint. That's why grandma shrinks over time. People start to lose. And they're like, wow, just that one thing took a guy that went by my booth one time, before I got busy, Jim, and said, "Oh, chiropractic, I go the rest of your life." In 30 seconds ago, you got stress in your life? Oh, sure. He's about 35. Give me your hand. So instead of your spine areas, whatever area in your spine is moving like this, is moving like this, that causes this to happen. And he goes, "Oh, so why you need to get it checked and constantly checked all your rest of your life is to keep that moving. So those, not only can those joints not wear out, but the nerves that are giving life to your organs, muscle cells, and tissue can function." He goes, "Just like this." Well, that makes sense. Why does someone tell me? Well, here's my saying: know why, no comply. If you don't know why, you don't comply. They're not signing up. They don't know why. You didn't give the why. You give the why, and I'm telling you what, they'll sign up every time. Because when you give the why, that's when they say it makes sense. So come on, people, get it together. Get it together. Sorry.
Well, I'm gonna do a quick shout out for the people that have commented on our live today and say thank you for everybody that's been on. I know you had a chance to work with a young leader in the profession, Andy Hawkins.
Andy. Hey, Andy. Yes.
He says, "Two of the greatest chiro hustlers I know. Dave Major is the king of details when it comes to making connections in the community. Game face." We have Travis Corcoran over in the Netherlands, says, "Howdy, boys." And then Kat Sarah is such a positive contributor and supporter of Chiro Hustle since day one. And she says, "Educating, not selling." She said she shared this. And she says, "Bam, Jim Chester, well said." And Chris and Whitney Zano shout out, hallelujah. So with that being said, Dave, I appreciate you making some time and going live with me today and sharing your wisdom with the chiropractic story and what you bring to the marketplace. I do know that our paths will converge sometime over this new year. I just want to say happy holidays to you. Happy holidays to everybody. Happy holidays to everybody out there that is watching this. And if you guys are out there traveling over the Christmas holiday, please be safe. And if you guys are out there over the new year, please be safe as well. And enjoy your time with your families and get back to the basics again and spend some time with people, ask them about themselves, and share some wins that you've had over your past year with them as well, to where you guys are building your tribe stronger and building a better community. And that's just off the cuff. I think that the more we talk to each other, the better that we become as a unit. So please practice those things over the holiday season. And thank you, Jason Yeager with Universal Traction System, utsspine.net. Please check that link. Click on the link in the comment section up there up top. And Dave, I just want to say thank you. And it was such a blessing today.
Thank you. And I have one last quote, and then I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and we're going to yell game face. We'll be done. Some seeds may grow. This is about marketing. Some seeds may grow and others may not, but keep planting seeds is what you taught. You win some, you lose some, you can't refuse them because God is a guardian. He will choose them. Some seeds may grow and others may not, but if you ain't planting seeds, brother, you ain't got. Word to your mama. Drop the mic. All right. Ready on the count of 3, game face. 1,
2, 3. Game face.
All right. Right on. Take care.
See ya.
All right.
Thank you for listening to Chiro Hustle Live. Don't forget to subscribe and check back next week to continue hustling.